Discourse 8. June 19, 1937. Private Dictation. Mr. Ballard. Beloved ones, you might think this is just an enjoyable evening in which we meet together, but in the activity of the light, there is always a deeper underlying cause, for the outer desires are often used to bring about the blessings which are to be given. A threefold activity will take place for each one here. While the Divine Director is dictating and doing his work, which he has already begun, Chananda and our beloved Nada will also do a certain work which it is not necessary to mention. The Divine Director. Beloved children of the light. When I say those words tonight, I give them a fuller, deeper quality than is ordinarily understood. These hearts present, who are reaching out so earnestly and with such determination, for freedom in every way, must find the time and association wherein that which is required to be given, might have no interference in any way. You must remember, beloved ones, in your feeling world, there is the consumer and decreer of what you and your world shall be. The unhappy part is, that through the accumulation in the feeling world of mankind, obstruction was constantly charged forth, to interfere with the various achievements whatever they might be. Once you understand, in your call to the presence, you must make your outer conscious effort at self-control, by governing the feeling, then you will quickly have the power of the presence flowing through, for any given purpose or accomplishment. It is not sufficient to just continue to call to the presence, without an earnest sincere effort to control your feeling from the outer standpoint. That is where many students have found difficulty in realizing they must make a certain effort upon their own part at self-control, in order to give the powerful qualification and operate with the power of the pure energy of the presence flowing forth. You will find from tonight, as this is anchored clearly in your consciousness and feeling world, that every impulse which would produce discord, you will be able to silence instantly and stop its action from the outer standpoint, because you will know you are the decreer for your world. And what shall act through your feeling? Even though there still be some accumulation in your feeling world, there is no reason why it should longer govern you. Fortunately, there have been many in your beloved city and the surrounding places, who have been strong enough to refuse to listen to gossip, and I mean by that, all things which are less than the perfection of the presence, because after all, everything else is but gossip. That is perhaps a gentle term to use, but nevertheless, only as individuals see it is not a personal thing, can they free themselves. It does not matter what the condition of the appearance world is. It is not a matter of individuals or personalities. It is but a force acting through them, of which either they are unaware, or they have something in their feeling world, which makes them an easy instrument for its use. The simple, very simple requirement to allow the presence to act, is the reason why so many people fail to quickly grasp it. The human always tries to make things complicated, because of its lack of understanding. When the individual realizes there is only one simple thing necessary, and that is to allow the pure energy to flow forth to fill his or her mind, body, world and activity, then his or her calls are fulfilled quickly. Then, each one will know to call the presence into action and make the conscious effort to control the feeling, will enable this to be quickly done, to produce the perfection he or she requires. As long as people listen to discordant things and destructive experiences, they will have them in their worlds. Out of the vast number of students in your city, there are but very few who are strong enough, just from the power of radiation, to repel and refuse acceptance or allow to register in their feeling world a destructive quality or experience to which they may be listening. That is where the danger point lies for the students today, because, if they momentarily listen, they are allowing to register, unknowingly, in their feeling worlds, the quality upon which their attention rests. That is why we have pled with the students, through the messengers, not to listen to gossip or allow it in your worlds. I began the radiation in the San Francisco class. We have been urging the students everywhere, and holding their attention repeatedly, upon these more simple requirements, so they get the full understanding of their own individual requirements. It is necessary for them to do this, if they are to have the perfection which the presence wants to pour forth. Now remember, dear ones, your higher mental body knows absolutely everything you require. It will produce it for you, because it has the full power of the presence and does wield the full power to produce any requirement in your world, but it cannot and does not produce any destructive quality. As you enter the conscious pathway, the higher mental body will not release energy at any time to the student who has come into the knowledge of the I am, to produce any destructive quality, or which it sees in its all-knowing power, would be used for destruction. You will say to me, then how do people continue to do things which are destructive? Because of the energy already called forth which is anchored in their worlds, and with which their feeling world is charged. When that energy is exhausted, they cannot and do not go farther, in their destructive activities. When they are exhausted, if they do not know the I am presence, they do not know how to replenish that energy. You have before you in the outer world constant examples of it. The hypnotist who uses his energy to hypnotize through a period of years, becomes exhausted and loses all his power, because he has used up all the energy with which his feeling world has been charged, and not knowing the presence cannot call forth more. The same is true with many Christian Science practitioners. Not knowing the difference between mental power and the actual spiritual power, which is the energy from the presence, they go on and produce some astonishing results in their earlier experience. They do not know they are using just mental power, but they do produce certain results for the time being, and they are greatly elated over the certain results. Yet, they find later when that energy is exhausted, they cannot any longer do the work. The evidence of this stands today in America before thousands of people. Many have come to the messengers and have had the reason explained, and in most instances, they have been people who replaced the energy in the acceptance of the I am presence, because there is no power in the world aside from your I am presence. There is no human being who has any power separate from the presence. Even the outer self could not have any life, except that supplied by the presence which beats its heart. As you look at these things from this great law's standpoint, they are simplicity itself. Our unhappy critics who criticize us for the simple language used, are but held within their own intellectual vanity. Why should we acquiesce to the human opinions of the world, knowing the results which are produced by the simplicity of our language which has been used? We use your terminology to make it more forceful to you. Why should we try to use technical terminology, which does nothing but make confusion within individuals? We again call your attention to some things which we want you to go forth and use tonight, with a certain outer consciousness of your presence acting through your mind, body and world. I assure you, beloved ones, you must be more firm than ever, and refuse to listen to discord or gossip. They charge your world with their qualities, and if your mind, unknowingly, begins to revolve those qualities within itself, your world is charged with them and you must reap the results. When students come to a certain point in the expansion of their inner light, their zeal and great desire for perfection is often preyed upon, to try to trip them up, but if the students will listen carefully to the messengers in this coming class and use that which comes forth, everyone who comes into it will be free. We are determined, if the students will listen to us and be alert, to give them, not only the outer worded expression of the application and what it does, but the quality which it contains, will be anchored within their feeling worlds, to render the same service for them. At this time, more than ordinary assistance must be given and is given, but we cannot compel the action of the individual. We can only, and often do, give vivid promptings, but individuals will have no trouble in calling the presence into action, if they will only not listen to destructive discussions. I mean any form of gossip, judgment, condemnation, and all that kind of thing with which the atmosphere of humanity is charged. It is so much easier to listen from the human standpoint than to repel it, but one must some day be firm enough to do it, and we want to get every one of you to that point, as with this good messenger, where even though you listen to it, you do not allow any of those qualities to register in your feeling world. Then, you will find there will be no inclination to get irritated or disturbed about any appearance in the appearance world. I call your attention to this tonight so you may, if you care to, watch it. In the various activities which have taken place, the light within each one expands, through the acceptance of the power of the radiation which we give. That light becomes more and more intensified and certain groups are being drawn together. Do you think, beloved ones, really anything ever happens by chance? Surely you cannot think that. Even in the smaller things, there must be and is a cause back of every single thing which you do in the outer. Now then, if you have allowed some destructive quality to register in your feeling world, and you are attempting to do something destructive, then if this pressure rushes forward, where does the fault lie? Really not with the individual, not with the intelligence which sent it forth, but in the lack of obedience to the law of harmony, is what allows discord to register in your feeling. So you will see by that why we should not judge, why we should not condemn, and yet, why we should be firm and unyielding in our stand to the light, the harmony, and the refusal to listen to discordant destructive things, regardless of what they may be about. Do you think that is asking too much? Is there anything of more importance in all the universe than your freedom? Is there anything more wonderful in all the universe than your ascension? I think not. Now at this point, let me remind you of something, for you may be of inestimable assistance to others. Many people, and many among the students, when the idea of the ascension came forth, thought they had but to call to the presence and their ascension would be forthcoming, regardless of what their attitude in the outer world was. How unfortunate that anyone could think such a thing, when all in life is a harmonizing, refining process. To think such a thing, for one who has lived discordantly just in this life, say for 30 or 40 years, just a simple call to the presence would give that one the ascension, without any effort on such a person's part, is childish ignorance. It would be childishness and a great mistake. There have been thousands who really thought so and who were really very sincere. There is no limit, as the messengers have told you, to what the presence might do for you, at any given moment. That is why I explained this to you tonight. There are many who are still thinking, it does not require anything but their call to the presence to gain their ascension, regardless of what is going on in their feeling world. Again, it is childish and foolish. Harmony is the law of the universe. Unless it is maintained for a sufficient period of time, in the feeling world of each one, how can the energy flow forth unqualified? It cannot do it. So from tonight, take your firm stand with the presence. While this messenger does not wish me to use him as an example, nevertheless I must do it. I call your attention, beloved ones, to his experience. Up until he met his beloved companion, there was no one in the world to whom he could turn for assistance. There was only one thing he could do, and that was stand and follow to the best of his ability, the inner promptings which came. Then, after the contact with beloved VIIIJune, he was shown how very accurately he had been following those inner promptings. If everyone would only follow those inner promptings, you would all be able to hold to the light, but individuals allow their attention to outer things, to make them waver, wonder, question or doubt, when they are actually having these inner promptings all the time. Some days not having them quite so strong as others. He did not always have them so strong that he was certain about everything, yet he continued to follow to the best of his ability. There was no one to whom he could go. That is why beloved Saint German, Nada and myself have urged the students to feel the full power of their presence to prompt them, then stand by it, until they can have the full outer consciousness and assurance, the presence would always answer, because it is the law of your being, that it is compelled to answer. You will soon gain a confidence in the outer, so every time you call to your presence, instantly there will flow forth its mighty energy, the mighty directing intelligence, the great calm certain feeling within you, which gives you the assurance of its accomplishment. Tonight, as I refer to these various things, these qualities are not only being anchored, but charged into your feeling world for action. Oh, beloved ones, it is action we need now. What do I mean by that? The release through your decrees into the mental and feeling world of mankind, of this mighty charge and activity. We repeatedly say to you, it is one of the greatest services which can be rendered, and in your mighty groups here, the accomplishment has been wonderful, I assure you, even in the past 6 months. The ability to release our real power of the Ascended Master's divine love is most commendable. Each one releases the special power and activity of divine love required in each group. Now mark you, dear ones, please notice this. Everywhere that quality of the Ascended Master's divine love is released, it becomes a cohesive quality and activity, which keeps drawing more and more to itself. You have noticed the moment some discord comes in, how the dissolving, disintegrating process starts and people withdraw. Again, when the Ascended Master's divine love begins to pour forth, which is the cohesive quality of life, then people come back. If only beloved mankind and the beloved students would become cognizant of these actions which are going on before them constantly, how beautiful it would all be, but because of the pressure of the outer world, those things are passed over almost constantly. I ask you, if you will, to watch them and see how very wonderful is the law of life, how unfailing, unerring it is, in its activity when unqualified by human discord. Remember what beloved Saint Germain has said to you from the beginning: the human ungoverned is more vicious than the animal in the jungle. Never were truer words uttered. Therefore, why accept the human and allow its disintegrating activity to begin to act in your world? Beloved ones, listen to me carefully. Every moment you are listening to any kind of destructive qualities in any conversation, its disintegrating quality is then and there acting in your feeling world, because you admitted it through your hearing. You don't know that from the human standpoint, but we have watched it among the earnest students. We see the cause and effects, but unless you will allow us to help you, how can we do it? I am prompting you on these various points tonight, because everywhere you go, you are bound to meet these things. In humanity's present state, you cannot avoid it. Do not ever be disturbed at appearances which have to be met and conquered, because until more of humanity come into the light of the mighty I Am Presence, human qualities and conditions are always there to be met. See how easily these conditions are governed when the presence comes into action, but how can the presence act if the feeling world is charged with irritation and disturbance? Beloved ones, oh how great our love is for you! How great is our rejoicing at every single victory which you gain, and how our love pours out to you like a mighty river, knowing sooner or later your victory must come. You think you love each other, but how can you know what love really is, until you really know the love which has infinite patience with the mistakes of mankind? Yet, when we see the great infinite patience being gained among many of the students and the expansion of the light within their hearts, how greatly we rejoice and how much more we can then do. Remember, your victory is certain, if you will just follow these simple things. It is not complicated, the victory of life. It is so simple most of its great qualities, because they are so simple, are believed to be untrue. Don't ever admit failure in anything, no matter what the appearance world screams to you. Still say to it, you have no power. Oh, how much you could do for your own world, yourselves and others, when you say that. Beloved ones, do not at any time or in any way allow fear of any kind to enter concerning the messengers of this I Am activity. Remember, the light of God never fails. There have been a lot of prophecies made since the messengers left here, all so foolish. Human gossip will continue until the cosmic light, as you have been told, sweeps out all human selfishness and destructive qualities from the earth. So until that time, remember God, the mighty I Am Presence in you, is your certain victory. No other power exists in your world, unless you continue to admit it. Do you know, your very attention having been called to your presence, aside from your conscious call so earnestly to it, would release one day its full power of action into your world? Then how much more quickly it will come, if you refuse to accept or listen to destructive qualities of any kind. Then keep calling your presence into action, until its whole light floods your world. Please be reminded again tonight, there is no battle in the achievement of the presence. You call its light forth through your mind and body, into your feeling world, the light knows no resistance nor interference. It simply floods into you and out into your world, and the fullness of this light, being the supremacy of the universe and the supreme power of your world, just moves into action and all else dissolves before it. That is the way to feel concerning the activity of your presence. You don't have to struggle. Remember the simple words so often used, you shall hold your peace and the presence will fight your battles. It simply means, the moving of the light of the presence into your body, sweeping out all irritation, all discord of every kind and replacing it with all perfection which is the law. No imperfection can penetrate that light, and when you call it into action, as a tube of light, as a volume of light flowing into your world, your body, it is quite a different thing. Please notice this point carefully, it is quite a different thing than when the natural light becomes clothed by your discordant qualities. That light has become shut in, instead of the discord being shut out. When you place yourselves in a tube of light, do you not see the power of human qualification cannot reclothe the tube of light, which you are calling into action? Its volume is too great. That is why, if you once understand, when you say, for instance, mighty I am presence, charge my mind and body with your mighty energy, your strength and courage, or whatever the quality is you require. That is the light of the presence filling your body, and its volume is too great to be reclothed by the quality which is within your feeling world at that particular time. Notice this activity carefully. When the light comes in naturally and flows through the nerves, as energy and points of light within the cells of your body, it is not sufficiently powerful to keep the quality in your feeling world from clothing it with the density which is in your feeling. When you stand yourself in this tube of light or make yourself a pillar of light, the volume of that light is too great to be clothed by the feeling of the individual. If you once understand this, and as you stand yourselves in this tube of light, or feel yourself a tube or pillar of light, moving about in your daily activity, you will soon find all of your undesirable qualities will disappear. They must disappear. I want to say to the beloved ones here, tonight, we shall endeavor to take all resistance out of your feeling world, concerning your present forms, so they take on their natural symmetry. Do not resist the perfection of your presence any longer. Just say, mighty I am presence, now this is your form. Therefore, it has to be the symmetry and perfection which you are. Humanly, I take my mind off of it entirely. Therefore, mighty I am presence, you take command of this body now, and bring it into your perfect symmetry, then be at peace and rest about it. Every time the human has an opinion, say, hold on. You are to have no opinion. And you will find the presence will do this perfectly. I want to say, you are free from this hour. Don't longer accept anything else, any suggestion of anything else. If you will just feel this, and if you believe I speak the truth, you will know, you will feel, your freedom definitely in your feeling. Therefore, you will feel a strength sustained within you, which will give you great joy from this hour. No matter what the outer appearance is, do not accept again for a single instant any lack of strength, courage or power, because your presence which beats your heart is your power, strength, energy, courage and everything else which is required to give you everything. Remember what we have said, you shall all sing again with a greater power than you have ever known. Accept that charge, if you will, and let its full power of action go on within you. Don't allow the appearance world to have any effect upon you again, but just in great joy say, mighty I am presence, I accept the fullness of your power. I say to all these appearances within or without my being, you have no power. Therefore, I stand forth free right now, forever held in the embrace of the light of my mighty I am presence, always free and victorious. So shall it be. Beloved ones, we see the expansion of your light. We see your victory. Don't ever for one instant yield to any appearance longer. Say to every appearance in the outer world, you have no power. Mighty I am presence, you are the only presence, power, and intelligence acting here. Take command and hold your dominion and produce your perfection. I could go on, and on, and on, but after all, it is not so much a matter of what we say, but what you feel which counts. Won't you feel tonight, your absolute freedom in every way, in your perfect health, in your perfect acceptance of your mighty directing intelligence? It is there for your constant use. Saint Germain, Nada, and myself thank you all for your sincere work, and we trust you will realize, it is only just the beginning of what can unfold from within. Go on, in your great desire for freedom and victory, but refuse absolutely to listen to suggestions of the outer world, to prophesize or anything of that kind. The world is full of human opinions which are of no importance, but your attention to the presence from which all perfection comes, is of very great importance. Stand firm within it and have its blessings. Beloved ones, what a very wonderful thing it is to give us your attention. Do you know, while you are sitting here, you are no more a part of the outer world of mankind, than if you had never lived in it. You are living these 2 hours in the world of the Ascended Masters. Can you not feel it? Can you not retain it? You can, even though you move about in your daily activities in the outer world, still can you retain the feeling of these 2 hours or more. So long as the human conditions exist in the physical world as certain limitations, from which only the ascension can free you, we must wait. Oh, how many times we would love to gather those certain individuals together and give this assistance. It can only be done occasionally. Will each one of you hold the memory of this sacred within your hearts always, for it is greatly to be cherished. Do not be disturbed by the appearance world. Human beings come and go, but the law goes on forever, and we thank you for your noble efforts very much. Beloved ones, do you not see how in every single effort to bring enlightenment to another, you retain a great blessing within yourselves? How can human beings go on, when they have touched the light of their presence, as some in your beloved city are doing, thinking they are deceiving others? How can they practice deception and go on thinking it is not known? How can students of the I Am do this thing, yet there are those in your city who think they are deceiving others? Tonight, I want to prompt you on those things, so you no longer accept them. Remember, human appearances are but the shifting sands of the desert. They have no power, but to confuse the one who accepts human reports. Don't do it, dear ones. Anything which speaks of less than the perfection of the presence, you don't want. Therefore, cast it out of your world. It does not belong there. Then, go on in the great joy of your presence. I wonder, do you realize what it means for our beloved Betty Monday to take down all of this, which she has so faithfully done, and our beloved Lotus to get this ready for the students everywhere? In a conversation of this kind, don't feel under obligation to use in published form just every word I have said, because it is done to bring certain activities within you, but it is needed to stabilize and hold such a firmness that no longer is there a single moment yielded to less than the perfection which you want. I thank all of you for this opportunity to again give forth this assistance, and one day you will see how much it has meant. But remember, you are not separate from us, and you know you cannot be separated from your mighty I Am presence. Therefore, why give power any longer to human appearances, to human discordant conversations? Why do it? I am sure you will all be strong enough from this hour to just simply hold the wall of light so strong that not a discordant thing can register within your feeling world. May each one of you ere long drink from the crystal cup. Who shall say how soon you may? Won't you accept it until its arrival in the physical form is yours? Beloved ones, the experiences recorded of this good messenger are only the beginning of what you may all experience, once all disturbance is removed from your feeling world. It is not difficult. Will you give me your assistance just for a few moments and serenely think of the qualities which you desire most quickly made manifest in your experience? Then send that desire to your presence to have it established, sustained and all-powerfully active henceforth in your feeling world for constant use, forever sustained. Silence, I rejoice with you, each one. I think you do not quite realize, whenever your attention comes back to this evening, instantly you set into action these qualities established within your feeling world. I don't mean you should continually allow your mind to dwell upon this evening, but as you naturally do return in attention to this evening, it will instantly set into action these qualities, which I have established in you tonight. It is a very tremendous thing, if you once really realize it. It is quite the same, only it is a more powerful activity for you, when you give your attention to the I Am presence. The law of its being is it must act for you. When you give your attention to beloved Saint Germain, Nada, myself or the beloved Jesus, that instant, our qualities are acting in your feeling world. If mankind really understood this, how quickly enormous, tremendous things could be accomplished, but because of the pull of the attention upon the outer world, it is constantly shifting, you see. Therefore, in the realization that your presence is your stabilizing power, it holds you firm upon a given objective, upon a given call, then you see there is not a thing you cannot do. Not a thing you cannot do or accomplish, but be sure your motives are right. I clothe you each one, O precious children of the light, in my mantle of light and love. In it are these qualities which you need for use. Just wear that mantle always for me, and let it do its perfect work for you. Why do you suppose Saint Germain was known in Europe as the man with the indigo cape? Do you know that color? Is the exact color of the cosmic screen in the Royal Teton, and it was used for a certain purpose? I say to you beloved students, do you realize what a very great champion you have in our beloved Lotus? I am sure most of you realize the hours, and hours, and hours, while most of humanity are sleeping, she is working, working, and working, for the freedom and victory of the students, a most wonderful thing. Please do not wonder why we have had such an intimate conversation, but because of the work to be done for you. Just feel it, forever active within you and your world, knowing definitely, no longer can a single human quality interfere with the steady forward progress to your freedom. In every manner. I think, dear ones, I should say a word or two of our beloved Nada. Really little has been said recently, but if you knew the tremendous work she is doing constantly among the students, your hearts would leap for joy. Her tireless efforts for each one. It is so wonderful to come to a point of understanding where praise or blame are alike of no effect. Where it is a joyous service in knowing every single effort is a steady winning of your eternal victory. It is so wonderful to have come to a point of understanding where you know the word failure is entirely out of your vocabulary. It does not exist, not for an instant in the world of any one of you under this radiation. It has gone out of your world completely. Regarding your financial supply, just feel your presence open the door of its treasure house and release into your use everything which is required. If channels be used, then let the wisdom of the present select those channels, so there could not be a single discordant experience. There could not be a single mistake, there could not be a single failure to have that which you require for use. It is so definite. It is so powerful. Please feel it, rest in it, and know, the dynamic action of the presence is producing those results. Why do I say, dynamic action of the presence? Because you must feel that under certain conditions. Until you have a greater sense of freedom, you must feel it dynamically active. Then at each call, will come the result. Beloved Saint Germain, beloved Nada, beloved Master Jesus, beloved Chananda, Chara, David Lloyd, Rex, Bob, Nada and Pearl, Mrs. and Mr. Rayborn, all wish me to convey their love and blessings to you. The beloved Leto wants you to know, there no longer exists any uncertainty in you or your world. The victory stands there active within each one of you, in your feeling world. May it have its full dominion now and forever sustained. I thank you.